People in both political parties came together and played it straight with the American people and said there are tough choices ahead. We can do them in a way that's humane. We can do them in a way that represents fiscal discipline and reform, but we have to act. We have to act now. I urge my colleagues to support this important alternative.
The gentleman's time has expired. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey.
I thank the Speaker. At this time, then, I would like to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from New Mexico. Oh, no, from Indiana, I'm sorry.
The gentleman from Indiana is recognized for 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate it. And I do like New Mexico as well. I rise in strong support of this budget amendment. As a member of the Budget Committee, I also support the Ryan budget. Both these budget proposals are steps in the right direction. They make reforms that are needed. They are honest proposals. They're not trying to demagogue. They're not trying to fearmonger. They're not trying to fib to the American people. We have got to address, Mr. Chairman, the drivers of our debt. We could have no Defense Department. I could work for free. Our staffs can work for free. We can get rid of 167 agencies and we still wouldn't get rid of this debt. Our debt is being driven by these programs of Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. And the reason that is because reckless politicians who came before this new member made promises that can't possibly be kept. We're here to tell the truth, Mr. Chairman. These budgets do this job gradually, they do it humanely, and they allow people to prepare so that these programs can be saved for my kids and our grandkids. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
The gentleman's time has expired. He seeks recognition.
Time's remaining on each side.
The gentleman from Maryland has 2 minutes remaining, and the gentleman from New Jersey has 3 3/4.
I reserve.
Gentleman from Maryland reserves. Gentleman from New Jersey is recognized.
And so at this time, I would like to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Florida who recognizes we must keep our promises, especially to the youth of tomorrow.
The gentleman is recognized for 1 minute. Without objection.
I'd like to thank the gentleman from New Jersey for my time this morning. I rise today in support of the RSC budget as well as the Ryan budget. You know, my friends on the other side of the aisle make quick talk about the very most wealthy. Well, unfortunately, most of those file as individuals because they own LLCs and they own S corporations, as my family does. And so you file those as individual on your individual tax return. So I think the American people deserve the truth regarding that number. The second thing, I'll tell you something, as a new freshman to this body, it's amazing that we want to talk about how the Republicans want to harm Medicare on the heels of a health care bill that cut $500 billion out of Medicare. I have little patience with such talk. I will tell you the American people deserve the truth. They need this body rather than to propose and push forth debt, doubt, and despair. They require us to give them certainty, safety, and security. I rise in support of the Ryan budget as well as the RSC budget, and I yield back my time.
The gentleman's time has expired. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would remind the body that the $500 billion in Medicare reform savings, which we got from ending some of the big breaks to the insurance industry, are kept in the Republican budget. You keep those savings. What you do not do is what we did, was to use some of those savings to close the prescription drug donut hole. So you took the savings, but you left the seniors with the donut hole. And with that, I yield 1.5 minutes to the gentlelady from Connecticut, Ms. DeLauro.
The gentlewoman is recognized for 1.5 minutes.
I strongly oppose this budget proposal. The choices the majority is making are ill-considered and wrong. Instead of working to reduce the deficit in a common-sense way, this budget ends Medicare. It ends Medicare, throws seniors to the wolves. Instead of working to control health care costs, this budget shifts them onto seniors and families. The proposal repeals health care reform, dismantles Medicaid, throwing seniors out of nursing homes while providing giveaways to the insurance industry, gives tax breaks to corporations that ship jobs overseas, cuts critical investments investments in education, research, job training, and infrastructure. It provides subsidies to big oil companies while cutting services to the most vulnerable Americans, including $350 billion in food stamps. Programs such as Medicaid, Pell Grants, WIC would be gutted. It cuts taxes for the wealthiest while raising taxes on the middle class. Millionaires, billionaires get a lower top tax rate and extended estate tax giveaway. Everyone else sees deductions and credits, like the child tax credit, eliminated. This budget is Robin Hood in reverse. It takes from seniors, the middle class, working families, and gives it all that money to the rich and to corporate special interests. I urge my colleagues, stand up for the middle class today and for America's seniors and oppose this budget, and I yield back.
The gentlewoman yields back. The chair recognizes the gentleman from New Jersey.
And at this time, Mr. Speaker, I would like to yield 1 minute to the gentleman from Alabama who actually read this bill and understands that it makes absolutely no changes whatsoever for seniors 60 years of age or over and actually strengthens health care for the seniors in generations to come.
The gentleman from Alabama is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. By way of background for the listeners and the people in this House, I graduated from Duke University with highest honors with distinction in economics. And I say that to give you an idea that I have a little bit of insight as to what I'm talking about when I talk about the two principal economic theories of our day. One is free enterprise and the other is socialism. And let's talk about socialism for a moment. It's greater and greater government micromanaging of our lives. It's higher taxes to pay for it. Let's talk about free enterprise. Free enterprise is belief in the individual, in freedom and opportunity. It's what has helped make America one of the greatest nations the world has ever seen. This Republican budget, the two of them, you can go with the RSC or you can go with the Ryan one, they are premised on free enterprise solutions. They will create real jobs and wealth for all Americans. I urge this body to go with what our founding fathers went with, free enterprise. That's the ticket to success.
Gentleman from New Jersey.
I have no other speakers except to close. The same.
The gentleman from Maryland has the right to close and has 15 seconds remaining.
Thank
and
you,
gentleman,
I thought I had
the gentleman from New Jersey. Does the gentleman from New Jersey have any more speakers?
Just myself for our closing. So.
And the gentleman from Maryland has the right to close. Do you, gentleman?
I have the right to close. I will yield to the gentleman from New Jersey.
Gentleman from New Jersey.
And the time remaining is?
The gentleman has 1 3/4 minutes.
So we stand before you, as stated before, with clear distinctions on the course that this country will lead in the future. Shall we continue to make the same bad paths of policy that we've made in the past, which sets us on a fiscal crisis, which not only this side of the aisle, but the President of the United States most recently stated as well? Or should we change the direction of the ship of state? Should we direct ourselves in a path that will towards fiscal sanity? Should we go in the direction that every single family in this country has to go in? That is to say that we will live within our means, that we will not put an additional burden on our children or our grandchildren. Should we go in a direction that we can say to the seniors, 60 years of age or older, that we will not change your entitlements, we will not change your health care, but rather we will put in place today programs that make sure that they are here for you and for your children and future generations as well? Should we go in a path that says to our children of today and of tomorrow that we will not put additional burdens onto you today or in the future by putting programs that we cannot afford? The Republican Study Commission chooses the latter. The Republican Study Committee decides that we should live within our means. The Republican Study Committee ensures our nation spends responsibly by freezing total discretionary spending at 2008 levels. It ensures our national security by meeting Defense Secretary Gates' defense requests. Our budget puts non-defense discretionary spending on a sustainable path for the future. We reduce unnecessary mandatory spending other than Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, as opposed to what the other side of the aisle say. We strengthen Medicare's long-term finances. This budget would slowly phase in increases to Medicare eligibility and make it stronger for future. And most of all, unlike any other budget that will come to the floor today, this budget will actually balance. We will actually come with a balanced budget within the lifetimes of all the members here sitting today. Mr. Speaker, we believe that the solutions outlined in our budget proposal will put our nation on a greater, surer footing, address the fiscal crisis, and set the course for dynamic innovation, job creation, and economic growth for the future.
The gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We do need to make tough choices. The question is, what choices do we make? You choose to give another round of tax cuts to millionaires. At the same time, you're cutting investments in our kids' education. You choose not to get rid of the subsidies, taxpayer subsidies, for oil companies while you end the Medicare guarantee, while you immediately eliminate the effort to close the donut hole, and while you cut funding for seniors in nursing homes by slashing Medicaid. Those are the choices
The
you have
gentleman's
made.
time has expired, and members are reminded to address their remarks to the chair. The question is on the amendment offered by the gentleman from New Jersey. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. In the opinion of the chair, the noes have it.
Mr. Speaker, I would ask
The amendment is not agreed to it.
Mr. Speaker, I ask for
The gentleman from New Jersey. Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, further proceedings on the amendment offered by the gentleman from New Jersey will be postponed. Pursuant to Clause 6 of Rule 18, proceedings will now resume on those amendments on which further proceedings were postponed in the following order. Amendment number 3 by Mr. Grijalva of Arizona. Amendment number 4 by Mr. Garrett of New Jersey. The chair will reduce to 5 minutes the time for any electronic vote after the first vote in this series. The unfinished business is the request for a recorded vote on Amendment number 3, printed in Part B of House Report 112-62 by the gentleman from Arizona, Mr. Grijalva, on which further proceedings were postponed and on which the noes prevailed by voice vote. The clerk will redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 3, in the nature of a substitute, printed in Part B of House Report number 112-62, offered by Mr. Grijalva of Arizona.
A recorded vote has been requested. Those in support of the request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. A sufficient number having risen, a recorded vote is ordered. This will be a 15-minute vote.
After passing the 2011 spending bill yesterday, the House has been working on 2012 spending. Most of the general debate happening yesterday. Today, considering a number of alternative plans and a couple of votes here on 2 of them. The Progressive Caucus plan for 2012, that gets the first vote here, and then they will vote on the Republican Study Committee plan. That's coming up next. We're going to open up our phone lines here in just a moment to get your thoughts on the 2012 budget. What do you think is a priority? What should be cut from the budget? What should be kept in the budget? If you're a Republican, call 202-585-3885. Democrats, the number is 202-585-3886. Independents and others, 202-585-3887. Make sure you mute your television when you call in. We'll get to your calls in just a minute or two. We are also waiting to take you live to hear from Democratic leader Nancy Pelosi and other Democrats outside the Capitol. We also have some comments from Speaker Boehner and others that we hope to show you in this vote or in the next vote. All of that coming up. So we'll hear from Leader Pelosi momentarily, get to your calls momentarily. First, though, some background on the overall 2012 plan from a Capitol Hill reporter. We're joined by Anna Palmer of Roll Call. What is the purpose of having a budget resolution?
Sure. It's not to actually get something enacted, but particularly on House Republicans, from their point of view, their purpose in doing this today is to set up where they want fiscal policy to go in the country and kind of lay it down as a marker in terms of future negotiations.
In general, how does a budget resolution help the majority party with its agenda?
It's something concrete that they can point to, particularly looking at the upcoming 6 to 8 weeks when Speaker John Boehner is going to be going into negotiations over raising the debt limit. He can point to specific provisions and say, this is what we are looking to. This is our roadmap for what we want to accomplish.
Paul Ryan, the Budget Committee Chair, the author of this plan. What are some of the top-line highlights on this budget proposal?
It's a very bold proposal. He does a couple of things that are pretty, usually haven't been addressed. He looks at privatizing Medicare in the coming years. It does not touch Social Security. It lowers the tax rates. And the biggest thing probably from a Republican standpoint is it balances the budget in 20 years.
On Medicare and Medicaid and the proposals, the changes that he's proposing in this package, what are sort of the political implications of the possible changes there, and how do Republicans explain their actions?
Sure, it's already become a political food fight. Democrats have been using the Medicare provision in particular to fight back against this, the Ryan budget proposal, saying, you know, trying to scare seniors that this is going to hurt them. Republicans have pushed back on that. They say that this proposal does not affect anybody who's 55 and older right now, so anybody who's currently receiving Medicare, and that the program would be going bankrupt anyway. So this is a way to, you know, make it so that when the next generation needs this program, it is going to be sustainable.
Several alternative 2012 plans have been offered yesterday and today. What distinction do those plans attempt to draw with Republican leadership's plan?
So you look at the Republican plan, then there's a conservative group of members, the Republican Study Committee, which put out their own budget. And the big distinction there is they want to do what the Ryan proposal does more quickly. So they take the Ryan as a proposal as a baseline, and they balance the budget in 10 years. And then on the other side, Democrats have a slew of different proposals that they are using to contrast with what they think the Republicans are doing.
The 2012 package today, is this going to pass on a pretty much straight party line vote?
I imagine that you're going to see a large majority of the Republicans vote for this bill, and you may see a few crossovers and maybe some conservative Democrats, but on the whole, most Democrats see this proposal as, a great campaign tool to be able to attack Republicans on Medicare. Now, those conservative Democrats, the Blue Dogs, they were offered the chance to offer an alternative plan, but decided not to. Do you know why? The Democrats, the House Democrats decided that they were going to have a party decision, a party proposal, and some of the other caucuses chose to. The Blue Dogs have kind of had broad brush strokes of what they want to see, and in what the president came out with earlier this week had a lot of those same kind of proposals that they favor. Lastly, when I ask you the next step, assuming it passes in the House today, what's ahead? Sure. In the Senate, first of all, it's really unclear what's going to happen. Budget Chairman Conrad has not decided, or hasn't said anyway, publicly, whether he's going to offer a budget. Then you also have a gang of these six moderate senators, 3 Republicans, 3 Democrats, who have been working for weeks to come up with a compromise. That there's been some indication that they may be able to do something after this 2-week recess that we go on today and put something out. But it's unclear. I mean, the real thing that's going to be the litmus test for this is the debt ceiling, and whether or not they're going to be able to get any of these proposals into a final vote on raising that. An update from Anna Palmer of Roll Call. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Back live on the House floor, they're voting on one of the alternative plans, the Congressional Progressive Caucus plan. We're going to open up our phone lines for your comments. We wait to hear from Democratic leaders who are going to address the media and others gathered outside the Capitol. That should start momentarily, so we will get to your calls. Let's see if we can get one in here. Richard in Chicago on our independent line. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead with your comments. Richard, hang on a second. Let's hear from Leader Pelosi, and then we'll get back to your call. Hang on.
How are you? Well, today we have a very special guest. Her name is Josephine Ball-Sibel, but she is not alone in being a special guest. Each and every one of you, with your hands off my Medicare sign, is very special to us as well. We'll be hearing this morning from our Democratic whip, Steny Hoyer, our Democratic leader, Jim Clyburn, our chair of our Democratic caucus, John Larson, Vice Chair Javier Becerra, our chair of the ranking member on the Budget Committee, Chris Van Hollen, Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky of Illinois, Congresswoman Doris Matsui of California, co-chairs of our Seniors Task Force, and Paul Tonko, a fighter for Medicare from New York State. I named them because actually all of our members would like to be down here to speak to you. And so these are the ones who won the prize to be with us all together on an issue that is not an issue. It is a value. It is an ethic for our country, to keep our bedrock promise to our seniors, to keep our promise of Medicare, a benefit they have earned
through a lifetime of work. House Republicans are voting to break that promise, jeopardizing the health and economic security of America's seniors. Seniors know that the Republican budget means. All of you here who want hands off your Medicare know hands off means end what they're trying to do, end Medicare and shift health costs to seniors. No. Okay, slashing support for seniors in nursing homes. Hands off, or no. All right, let's stick with a no. No. Forcing seniors to pay twice as much for less coverage. No. Reopening the donut hole and raising prescription drug costs. No. Ending free preventive services like a regular checkup enacted in the new health care bill. No. Okay. And this is about a wrong choice. A budget is supposed to be a statement of our national values, about what is important to us as a country, what our priorities are, or where we should allocate our resources and make our decisions. The Republicans are making some bad choice decisions in that they end Medicare while giving away tens of billions of dollars to big oil. They slash support for seniors in nursing homes while giving tax breaks to businesses that send jobs overseas. They cut education for our children and increase the cost of higher education for nearly 10 million Americans while giving tax cuts to the wealthiest people in our country. This is a wrong choice for American seniors, America's children. It's a wrong choice for the American people. This budget, we've always said we will judge every initiative that comes before us as to whether it creates jobs, as it reduces the deficit, strengthens the middle class, and continues the economic growth of our economy. This budget does none of the above, as it ends Medicare. Hands off our Medicare! Hands off our Medicare! Hands off our Medicare! Hands off our Medicare! A fighter for the strong Medicare, the assistant leader on the Democratic side.
Part of the comments from Leader Pelosi and other Democrats, just want to let you know that continues live on our companion network, C-SPAN 3, also online at cspan.org. But we did want to get to your comments on the budget, so let's go to them now. We're going to go to Dayton, Ohio, and Keith is a Democrat there. Thank you for waiting. Go ahead with your comments.
Yes, I just don't understand how people forget that when the Republicans own the House and the presidency, how we got into this mess. How can we trust these people? They ought to just be honest and understand the reason why they want to make sure that the rich folks continue to get these tax breaks and these big corporations and oil corporations is because they're lining their pockets. They're in the back seat with these folks because these folks are paying them all this money so they can make sure the poor folks, senior citizens, ain't no way we should lose the Medicare. And that's ridiculous. How can you choose to kick people out of a Medicare, the people need health care, to make sure they can make it and their lives will be a whole lot better? These folks know what they're doing. They've been doing this stuff for years. They're for the rich, and the poor folks are just left outside the door.
Let's go to Chicago. Richard on our independent line. Go ahead.
Hello. First of all, I have a quick question. May 16th is fastly approaching. We have not yet worked on a way to raise the debt ceiling. Why are we working on a budget that's not due until September 30th, 2011? But let's see. I have some cuts. What we need to say, we need to preserve Medicaid, and Social Security. By ending the Bush tax cuts on the wealthy, we could save almost $1 trillion. We need to raise current taxes on the wealthy to 40%. Cut the defense budget by 50%. Bring our troops home from Afghanistan. That saves $122 billion. And all the oil subsidies, that's $40 billion. We need to help the poor, improve the impoverished, cherish the poor. I like the Congressional Progressive Caucus budget, the people's budget, because it reduces it raises the taxes on the rich. It cuts the budget to zero by 2021. It gives us a surplus of $30 billion by 2021. It curbs military spending. It introduces a public option plan.
Richard, thanks for that information. The underlying bill, the 2012 bill that proposed by Republicans, would cut more than $6 trillion over the next decade from the budget that the President has proposed. The vote on the floor is on one of the alternative, on the Congressional Progressive Caucus alternative. 15-minute vote to New Egypt, New Jersey next, and Carlos is on our independent line as well.
Hi. I just want to point out how obscene this actually is when people are cutting Medicare when there's military spending that adds up to about half of the federal government's annual discretionary spending, and it doesn't take much to figure this out. You can look at the Center for Defense Information organization, their website. It's out there in the open, and they would rather cut Medicare. I mean, if you're really that upset about the debt, about all this the money being spent, well then there is a huge portion of our government's federal annual spending going towards military, going towards interventionism, and it's out of control, and it really needs to stop.
Hey, Republican View next. This is Vicki in Union City, Tennessee.
Okay, I have a few things to say. The Democrats took $500 billion out of our Medicare and gave it for a new socialist Medicaid program. President Clinton balanced the budget with $2.7 trillion out of the Social Security funds back during his reign. Okay? We also, on Mr. Obama's bill, his stimulus bill, sent trillions of dollars to the IMF. I think we need to get it back, and I think we need to get tariffs from foreign lands that we help build, like China. I think we need to put tariffs on every country, and I think we need to quit sending money overseas to our enemy dictators, socialist governments.
The House passed the 2011 spending bill yesterday afternoon. Senate passed it yesterday evening. President Obama likely to sign that today. Then the House began debate on the 2012 budget, and today considering alternatives. 2 votes here. This first one on the Progressive Caucus alternative, and the next one on the Republican Study Committee alternative. They will also debate and vote on the Democratic leadership budget plan. That is still ahead in the House. We continue to take your calls. And just a reminder, too, that you can comment online at facebook.com/cspan. Today we are live streaming our coverage of the U.S. House, and you don't have to wait for phone calls. You can participate in the conversation continuously online. It's facebook.com/cspan. You'll see our check-in and chat bar there, and you can go ahead and make your comments. To Orlando we go next. Teresa's on our Democrats line. Thanks for waiting.
Yes. You know, it should have been obvious 4 months ago that the Republicans sided with the corporate rich when they voted against a bill that would have stopped companies who were outsourcing our jobs. But, you know, earlier today on the Business News Channel, I heard great news. Obama administration is going after those American companies who for years have hidden their assets in Swiss bank accounts and other offshore havens. These corporate crooks have taken hundreds of billions of dollars of tax dollars out of the United States, and the administration is going after that money. Now, these are the same crooks the Republicans want to continue to protect and to give even more tax cuts. It's amazing.
The President returns from Chicago after a couple of early campaign and fundraising appearances last night. This is Independence, Kansas on our Independence line. William, hello, go ahead.
Hey, all right, first thing we need in this country is a proportional budget system, proportional to the amount of income that we have, and based on a percentage, i.e., if you take in $100 and you're allocating stuff as for 110, you scale that back down to 100, so you're not overspending. Yeah, you would have a shortfall, but it'd be everywhere entirely. You wouldn't have to hit Medicare, Medicaid, this, defense, whatever. It hits all by percentage. So if you got cut down, you got cut down. I want to check this one in there as well. Defense spending in this country is out of control. Here it is. I'm a green suiter soldier. I got an email for a headhunter agency saying that they want someone in charge of a forward operating base in Afghanistan, and they'll pay them $180,000 a year.
They said they went through a headhunter to get a member of the military, the Army, to do that?
Yeah, they wanted a contractor for $180,000 a year to administrate a forward operating base.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a soldier. I make $100,000 in Afghanistan. I'm willing to do that same job. I'm a reservist. Why not ask the reserves, hey, why don't you, Captain so-and-so, be in charge of a forward operating base in Afghanistan?
Why do you think they're going with why are they going with a contractor route on that, do you think?
That's the thing. We are obsessed with contractors. When I was in Iraq, contractors everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a typist make $180,000 a year sitting at a desk job on an operating post, joint base Balad, making that money, $80,000 more than I was making. And I was a captain doing, operations for the logistics of all Iraq.
William, we appreciate your opinion. You're calling in today. Let's get a couple more calls. Russellville, Arkansas. Charles, a Republican there. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you for taking my call. I was an independent, but now I'm a Republican. I support Ryan's bill. I think it don't go far enough. I think it should even cut more spending. You know, the Democrats talk about this keeping Medicare, but yet they let their own president take $500 billion from our Medicare system and put it in a system that nobody wants. And if the Democratic Party is so interested in saving money, let's do some welfare reform on this tax credit for children. And I know a lot of these girls getting this money back, and then they come and brag about the $800 tattoos they got. Now, this, maybe all federal employees ought to take a 20% cut and get rid of some of the $200,000 that he's just hired. That's going to cost us more money, and even in the long run, with their retirement and all the benefits they get.
Just to let you know where things are, the House is in the middle of voting on the Progressive Caucus 2012 plan. They'll vote next on the Republican Study Committee's plan, and then 30 minutes of debate and a vote on the Democratic Leadership's plan. Chris Van Hollen, the ranking Democrat on the Budget Committee. Final vote and a vote on final passage sometime early this afternoon. Let's get a call or two more. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, next up on our independent line, and this is Kevin.
Hey, good afternoon. How are you?
Doing just fine, thanks.
Yeah, as far as I know, I'm 52 years old. I've never gotten a job from a poor person. I'm tired of the Democrats always bringing out the financial card, I like to call it. If you make plenty of money, that's yours to keep. I have no grudge on people that make money. God bless them. They're able to do it, do it. The thing I get upset with Obama, when he came into office, we were supposed to get rid of this two-tier, blaming the rich for everything.
Going to let you go, Kevin. Thank you.
All right.
The yeas on this amendment.
Mr. Pierce. Mr. Pierce votes no. Mr. Bishop of Utah. Mr. Bishop of Utah votes no. Mr. Markey. Mr. Markey votes aye. Mr. Lynch. Mr. Lynch votes no.
All right, we're closed, Kevin. On this vote, the yeas are 77, the nays are 347. The amendment is not adopted. The House will be in order. And the committee also will be in order. Members, kindly clear the aisles and take your conversations off the floor. The committee will be in order. The committee is not in order. The committee will come to order. Take all your conversations off the floor. For what purpose does the gentleman from Ohio seek recognition?
I ask unanimous consent to speak out of order for 1 minute.
Without objection, the Speaker is recognized.
I think all of the members should be aware that today is Father Coughlin's last day as our chaplain after 11 years of service. And I think all of us, not just the members, but the officers and the staff, owe a giant debt of gratitude to Father Dan. He's been an invaluable part of our community, and not just with the opening prayer, but his counsel and his guidance that he's offered to all of us. You know, in the House's darkest hours, he's been there to gently lead us back to safe haven. And in between, when things get really noisy around here, he tries to encourage us to stop, find some quiet time, and reflect. He was appointed by Speaker Hastert 11 years ago. He comes from Chicago, where he will return. And I'm sure that there's one person that's real happy he's returning, and that's his mother, who's 96 years young. So, Father Dan, on behalf of the whole House, I want to thank you for your service. I know we haven't always been the most cooperative congregation that you might have. But I hope that you'll keep this House and the people who serve here in your prayers, and we will keep you in ours. And with that, I'd be happy to yield. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to yield to my colleague from California, Ms. Pelosi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As is very evident by the response to your remarks in praise of Father Coughlin, if there's one thing that Democrats and Republicans in the House of Representatives agree on, is that God has truly blessed us with the service of Father Coughlin as our chaplain for the past 11 years. When we talk about him being our chaplain, it's not that he's just the chaplain of the members. He's the chaplain of the staff, for the carpenter that we see in the hall, service employees who are here. He ministers to the needs of all of us here, sometimes in a very macro way. When 9/11 struck, or Tucson most recently, the anthrax threat, those kinds of things had an impact on all of us. And Father was there for us as a group, and he was there for us individually. We never know what joys or pain our colleagues or our workers here are undergoing or suffering. Father Conklin, Father Dan, knows more than most of us, and his discretion is something that we all value and respect. Father Dan has ministered to the needs of the poor with the Missionaries of Charity in Calcutta, India. He has meditated with Trappist monks in the monastery, and I think he's going to back and do some of that again. He has been a scholar at the North American College in Rome, exchanging ideas there. And he has ministered to the needs of his parishioners in LaGrange, Illinois, and that probably served him best for ministering to the diverse needs of his the flock that he shepherds here. We are very, very, very honored. Last year, many of us in a bipartisan way stood up, sang the praises. It seems so recent, but it was a year ago, and then after that, Father was honored in Illinois for serving as a priest for 50 years. So with all of that, for some of us, it was really a special source of pride, although we respect all of our chaplains, but a source of personal pride that he was the first Roman Catholic chaplain in the House of Representatives, and showed that he could minister to the needs of all of the members of all faiths here. So yes, we are very blessed by his service in the Congress. We are going to miss him a great deal. We wish him well as he goes forth. The legacy that he left us is one that was not only opening prayer each day to inspire us and lift us to a higher place in our deliberations, but that he set an example of civility in the Congress, of confidentiality of relationships. He was a great chaplain. We will miss him greatly, and we're enormously grateful to him. Thank you, Father Conklin.
May God be with you. And I yield back.
Without objection, 5-minute voting will continue, and the unfinished business is a request for a recorded vote on Amendment Number 4, printed in Part B of the House Report 112-62 by the gentleman from New Jersey, Mr. Garrett, on which further proceedings were postponed and on which the noes prevail by voice vote. The clerk will now redesignate the amendment.
Amendment number 4, in the nature of a substitute, printed in Part B of House Report number 112-62, offered by Mr. Garrett of New Jersey.
A recorded vote has been requested. Those in support of the request for a recorded vote will rise and be counted. A sufficient number having arisen, a recorded vote is ordered. This is a 5-minute vote.
A 5-minute vote on one of the alternatives to the 2012 plan. This is a Republican alternative, the Republican Study Committee, and this is a 5-minute vote. They will consider one more alternative, that is the Democratic Leadership alternative. Gets a half-an-hour debate and a vote on that as well. There is a lively discussion going on online as we stream today our live coverage of the House proceedings on the 2012 budget. Go to facebook.com/cspan to watch and participate in the conversation. Well, you heard on the floor there both from Democratic Leader Pelosi and Speaker Boehner on this last day of Father Coughlin serving as the chaplain of the House. Just ahead of those comments, Speaker Boehner and other Republican leaders were speaking to reporters about today's likely passage of the Republican 2012 plan. I'm going to show you some of the comments and questions from that brief news conference.
Questions?
Mr. Speaker, do you expect to hear a backlash from constituents over the recess over the proposed changes to Medicare and Medicaid?
I think it's pretty clear that if we don't make changes to these big programs, that they won't exist. And the fact is that the responsible plan put forward in the path to prosperity will in fact reform these programs and make sure that they're around for the long term. And understand, the greatest danger that America faces today is doing nothing.
Mr. Speaker, I was wondering if I could get your reaction to yesterday President Obama in a campaign speech in Chicago. He seemed to reflect on some private conversations you guys had about your negotiations and use you as a campaign tool almost. You and Chairman Ryan, I wanted to your reaction to that.
I didn't see his remarks, but I think you mentioned it. It was a campaign speech.
Speaker Banner, are you concerned about the political consequences of today's vote for your members who they represent a lot of seniors and particularly in the polls, seniors who are not for changes to Medicare?
I think it's important for our members to go home and talk about the crisis that we face and the fact that the changes being proposed would not affect one senior citizen in America, not one. Because Paul's made it perfectly clear that anyone who's 55 years and older will not be affected by any of these changes. But if you're 54 and younger, those Americans understand if we don't make changes, the programs won't be there. These are important programs for tens of millions of Americans. And transforming them so they'll be around for our kids and grandkids is as important as anything that we can do here.
Mr. Speaker, do you intend to appoint or name members to this Biden commission to look at these things?
You know, listen, we've had commissions around here, and we've had commissions. Nobody's ever paid much attention, and clearly the President didn't pay attention to his own deficit reduction commission. The conversations are going to continue. We'll know more in the future.
Last question. Mr. Speaker, have you seen or read the RSD plan, and do you have any idea how many votes you think the RSD plan is going to get today?
I don't know. I think I'd ask the RSC.
What do you think their plan is?
I've not looked at all the details, but I believe that the plan put forward by Paul Ryan and the Budget Committee is the strongest step we can take today. And we are going to take that step. Thanks.
On the House floor, they are voting on the Republican Study Committee plan, their version of the 2012 budget. It's a 5-minute vote. One more vote will follow this, and that's the procedural vote on the journal. And then the House will move on to their consideration of the final alternative plan. This is the Democratic leadership plan that was proposed by Chris Van Hollen, the ranking Democrat on the Budget Committee. That'll get a half an hour of debate and a vote as well. We expect a vote on final passage sometime in early afternoon.
On this vote, the yeas are 120.
Mr. Sarbanes. Off no on present for Mr. Sarbanes. Ms. McCollum. Off no on present for Ms. McCollum. Mr. Becerra. Off no on present for Mr. Becerra. Mr. Richmond. Off no on present for Mr. Richmond. Mr. Grijalva. Off no on present for Mr. Grijalva. Mr. DeFazio. Off no on present for Mr. DeFazio. Mr. Frank of Massachusetts. Off no on present for Mr. Frank of Massachusetts. Mr. George Miller of California. Off no on present for Mr. George Miller of California. Mr. Lipinski. Off no on present for Mr. Lipinski. Mr. McDermott. Off no on present for Mr. McDermott. Mr. Payne. Off no on present for Mr. Payne. Mr. Conyers. Mr. Conyers votes present. Mr. Honda. Off no on present for Mr. Honda. Mr. Lynch. Off no on present for Mr. Lynch. Mr. McNerney. Off no on present for Mr. McNerney. Mrs. Mr. Waxman. Off no on present for Mr. Waxman. Mrs. McMorris Rogers. Off aye on no for Mrs. McMorris Rogers. Mr. Clyburn. Off no on present for Mr. Clyburn. Mrs. Bono-Mack. Off aye on no for Mrs. Bono-Mack. Mr. Rothman. Off no on present for Mr. Rothman of New Jersey. Mr. Pascrell. Off no on present for Mr. Pascrell.
You ready? Yes. Close, Kevin.
On this vote, the yeas are 120.
They're open.
Mr. Michaud. Off no on present for Mr. Michaud. Mr. Dreyer. Off aye, on no for Mr. Dreyer.
Close.
On this vote, the yeas are 119, the nays are 136. The amendment is not adopted. The committee will be in order. Yeah, no, we're fine. The House will come to order. The committee will come to order. Please clear the aisles. The House will come to order. Members, please clear the well. Members, please clear the well. About ready to go. The House will come to order. Members, please take your conversations off the floor. Members on both sides of the aisle, please take your conversations off the floor. Members will clear the aisles and take your conversations off of the floor. We're ready. The committee will be in order. It is now in order to consider Amendment Number 5, printed in Part B of the House Report 112-62. For what purposes does the gentleman from Maryland seek recognition? Committee will come to order. Gentleman from Maryland seek recognition.
Mr. Chairman, I move to put in order the Democrat substitute budget.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 5, in the nature of a substitute, printed in Part B of House Report number 112-62, offered by Mr. Van Hollen of Maryland.
Pursuant to House Resolution 223, the gentleman from Maryland, Mr. Van Hollen, and a member opposed each will control 15 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Maryland.
Thank you.